I'm Phillip Hall and teach here at UTD. I teach mostly animation courses, Animation 1, Animation 2, Animation 3. Also teach an elective called Animation for Games. I teach a lot of animation courses. I'm a character animator. Worked at a bunch of different studios.
Well, what sort of studios did you work at?
So I worked at Blue Sky Studios on Ice Age Dawn of the Dinosaurs. I worked on Alvin and the Chipmunks, The Squeakquel, and Yogi Bear at Rhythm and Hues Studios. Also worked at Dr. D Studios in Sydney, Australia, and Sony Pictures Animation on Hotel Transylvania.
Go ahead and tell a little bit, I guess, about your experience while at those studios.
Well, man, my experience when I first started at Blue Sky on Ice Age Dawn of the Dinosaurs, I thought I knew how to animate, and I thought getting hired there meant that I knew how to animate, but I found out pretty quickly that there was a ton that I did not know that I still needed to learn. I was pretty humbled being there, honestly, because you walk in and all of a sudden you're with all of these animation heroes that you had, and you realize that they are really, really, really good. Some of the first shots that I had, I struggled with a lot. I was late on my deadlines and it looked like I was really falling behind, but one of the great things about Blue Sky was that they really rally behind the people that they hire, and I don't know, along the process somehow it just started to click for me and I got better and better, and I just always appreciated that experience. It was hard and it was tough, but they really did encourage me, and they felt like they hired me for a reason, and that reason was obviously they saw that I had talent and they wanted to cultivate that. So it was rewarding for them to see me finally get it. Working at Rhythm and Hues, that was one of the best experiences I had in America. The culture there was that there was no rush. Just take your time, do the best you can. It just felt like everybody got along extremely well. Yeah, it was. There's a lot of experiences there. There's a lot of great friendships that are made there. You're working in these long hours together, and it always helps when you work with people who are friendly and funny. That's where I met Sean McComber, who was a professor here, and it was because of the experiences we had together at Rhythm and Hues that he asked me to come teach at UTD.
If I recall, you mentioned at the beginning of the year you also worked at Rockstar.
Yeah,
well.
I did work on a few video games. I didn't necessarily work. I wasn't employed by Rockstar, but we did work for Rockstar on Red Dead Redemption, and I worked for a studio that did facial animations, and we were working with a team with Rockstar to develop the cinematics for Red Dead Redemption, and this company that I worked for, Image Metrics, they had developed their own proprietary software by which the animator could set a keyframe. And there's like these little cameras that are like a rig set up for the motion capture actors, and so it tracks everything that they do with their face. But it wasn't rotoscoped. It was really interesting. That none of that was like, they didn't have like the little dots or anything on their face. They were using their own proprietary software that drove the keyframe animation in the game. It's pretty cool.
What is it that you tend to look for in other students' work, and what says, okay, they're ready to advance or move on or whatever?
Well, specifically speaking from character animation, you can tell when a student is ready to move on when they've mastered like a bouncing ball, or they've mastered a bouncing ball with a tail. They make really good poses. They understand what posing is and the importance of posing. And there is a certain joy, there is a certain gift that I get just sharing that information with students, so that they know the things that I didn't know when I was in school. So hopefully, when they graduate, they're ready for employment in this industry.
Mm-hmm. So we've talked about like all the stuff you've been in, but what kind of made you decide to go into animation?
Wow, that's a good question. I got into animation because I was kind of good at drawing, and about in the second grade, we watched Pinocchio, and we had this little mock job fair kind of thing my teacher set up, and I just said I wanted to be a cartoonist. We watched Pinocchio, and I was like, that's what I want to do. And so I didn't even know what an animator was, but I just kept saying that once I figured out that's what they were. And just to think that somebody got paid somebody actually could earn a living making cartoons and films, I was like, yeah, sign me up. That's what I want to do. So it just came out of a love for the medium.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to do this. So thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, Kyle.